Welcome to the Gray Area Podcast, the show where we dive into everything from sports, movies, current events, and whatever else comes up, all with a healthy dose of humor and unfiltered opinions. I'm Brooks, and this is the Gray Area Podcast. You're listening to the Gray Area Podcast, where the answers aren't always black and white, but the laughs are guaranteed. I'm Brooks Pranger, and today's guest is Chaz Tacheny. Did I get that right?
You did, sir, indeed.
All right. A decorated U.S. Air Force veteran and public servant. His career has centered on combat search and rescue as a helicopter pilot, then on protecting human spaceflight as a NASA search and rescue human spaceflight specialist. That's a mouthful. Alongside with the Pasadena Fire Department and as a volunteer firefighter for them, and embodying a strong commitment to saving lives. Chaz is deployed to Afghanistan and Africa during his service, retired from the Air Force, and later became a mission lead for SpaceX twice on Mission 3 and 9, contributing to his high-stakes launch and recovery operations, and mostly recently joined the Artemis recovery team. He's been recognized as a true hometown hero in the Portland area for the impact he's had on both national missions and the local community. Chaz, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, Brooks. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Man, that intro just gave me chills because I'm sitting here. I had no clue, to be honest with you. So I've known Chaz for a long time.
That's right.
We kind of got our start in Little League Baseball over there at Bayside. And just a fun guy. Energy is just coming out of this guy when we're out on the baseball field. Got to coach his son Gabe, and man, that was a fun team.
That was a great time. It's one of Gabe's most favorite, the Bash Brothers.
The Bash Brothers, yes.
Bash Brothers.
Yeah, he was the Sandman. That was the nickname I gave him because he would put people to sleep on the mound. Like he would strike them out, they'd just be standing there.
That's right. He'll be tickled to know that you brought him up today.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, a lot of those kids, I follow. Every kid on every team I've ever coached, I follow for, their rest of their life, whether they do baseball or whatever else they do, because I become a fan of the kid.
Yeah, and what a phenomenal legacy that is, too.
Oh, man.
They're everywhere running around, doing great things.
Yes. I don't know if you remember Caden on that team.
I sure do.
He just signed with a college playing baseball.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's so many different kids. It's cool to see. One of the biggest honors I have is when I'm out and about and a kid comes up, "Hey, coach," you know what I mean?
That's right.
I haven't been their coach for 10 years.
They will always see you as such. What a great moniker too. Hey, coach, no questions asked.
Yeah, and you know what? I even get that from you.
That's right. That's right. I hold the same level of respect. You've left a lasting impression on all of us, not just the boys, the parents, but everyone around you.
Well, I appreciate that. That's huge, because that's what I wanted to do. Is I want to touch people's lives, and that's why I did Little League Baseball and coach kids.
It's a phenomenal way to do it.
All right, let's jump back into you. I got some questions here. I got a rapid fire segment. I've got all kinds of things.
We're used to rapid fire, so go ahead.
All right. So before uniforms, helicopters, and space missions, who was Chaz as a kid? What were you like growing up? When did, all that stuff. Tell us about little Chaz.
Little Chaz, I don't know if I was ever little, except, at birth, I'm the runt of three brothers.
Oh, wow.
At 6'4". So I didn't have a very good beginning. I got ridiculed and made fun of pretty much from high school on by my two younger brothers, who are now much bigger than me at 6'8" and 6'6".
Wow.
So I always get reminded of that when I go home. I was a shy kid, gangly, skinny as all get out. Didn't have much to say to anyone or anything, but I did have one passion that was driving me from birth. I wanted to fly.
Really?
I wanted to be among the clouds. I chased birds around. Started off in baseball, but spent more time watching birds.
Wow.
Not really worth much of anything, hidden out in right field. And then one day a coach said, anybody else want to have a go at pitching? And I sheepishly raised my hand, and they pointed to the bump and said, well, get over there and show us what you've got. Eyebrows turned, head cocked, like, this is just, come on, we want to go home. It's the end of the practice. And the first pitch I threw in there, the coaches still tell me this story. They're like, wait, what? Do that again. It had to be a fluke, and it was a strike, and it was a strike, and it was another strike. And that kind of opened the chapter to a very competitive baseball career that came to a screeching halt when I was given the option of playing for college.
Mm-hmm.
But the college pitching coach said, I hear you want to fly, and ROTC is what you're doing. And I said, yes, sir, absolutely. He said, my players don't do ROTC. They don't do service academies. And I stuck my hand out and said, it's been a pleasure.
Wow.
And walked out of his office, walked away from a scholarship, and never looked back. No regrets.
Wow, that's a major turn.
It is a major turn. But that path was already scripted for me. There was no doubt. Had a great time, and it's been fun to watch Gabe and you coach and keeping the sport close and near dear to my heart. But that wasn't my passion. It was not my purpose.
Yeah. So when was it that you started to realize that the service, the duty part of it is what you wanted to do?
So, the passion of wanting to fly put me into the path, and the two paths collided. Every kid, I think, wants to be a fighter pilot with Mach 2, hair on fire, wants to hit, the girls in the leather jacket. And then I got wind of, what's this rescue business? What do you mean? People actually fly and they go and they collect people, out of the sea, off the desert, trees, and found that there was a path that could do both. And I think it's in my DNA, but I've been driven by purpose. As I thought about today, I've been driven by purpose, and serving others has been that purpose. What perfect way to do it than conducting search and rescue. Somebody somewhere got themselves into a position they didn't want to be in and need help. Yeah. And that motivated me.
Wow. So was there somebody in your family that was kind of a mentor or coach to get you into that industry?
So Air Force for sure. My dad was a crew chief at Roswell, New Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Go figure, with UFOs and all that.
Right.
In 1960, he was a crew chief on the B-52 Stratofortress and told me stories from when I was a wee-high to a grasshopper, and he held my attention, and that was probably being an Air Force brat, if you will, was more than enough to light that fire and kindle the flame.
So then that's probably, the decision was made at a young age that that's what you wanted to do. So you went right into the helicopter.
I did.
What was that like?
So I was torn. There's a lot of cool aircraft out there to fly. I thought about flying the A-10, the tank killer, right? 30 millimeters and all the nastiness. And I actually had an instructor who flew both helicopters and the A-10. And I said, all right, if you had to go back and you could only pick one, what would it be? And fully expecting there's nothing like having, 30 millimeter GAU-8 high revolution weapon. But he goes, without a doubt, if I could only fly one, it'd be helicopters.
Oh, wow.
Over and over again. I said, sold. So I walked away from any pursuit like that, and just went after helicopters. And it's all about rescue. It's all about recovery, all about saving. And then that, again, just got into my DNA. It stands strongly and aligns with a lot of scripture about doing more for others. John 15:13, no greater love. Matter of fact, if I get another tattoo, that'll probably be the one that I get, because that more or less frames what rescue really is. Yeah.
So that's what you did when you got deployed then?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you went to Afghanistan?
Afghanistan, Eastern Europe. So I was there right after the Crimea was acquired by the former Soviet Union, with very, very strict guidelines from general officers not to go into enemy territory, and found myself there anyway, trying to help out in a non-combatant role, and then all over Africa, and then, of course, anything ending in Stan.
Wow. Man, so what did a normal mission look like for you, if you can talk about that?
Sure, absolutely. So classic Air Force Rescue is the only, Air Force Rescue is the only service who anybody with a helicopter can probably help. I can fly out to the middle of a lake or, an ocean and pick somebody up, but the Air Force is the only one who organizes, equips, and trains for that mission particularly. It's not a side hustle or side gig. And so a typical Air Force mission is large force deploys. Like, for instance, we have Epic Fury going on as we speak. And in the Gulf, in the Strait of Hormuz, there's a lot of rescue capability that are sitting and just waiting. And so helicopters don't move fast. They have to get very close to the fight, right up to the edge. We call that the FEBA, forward edge of the battle area. And you can literally look up above you and see the aircraft refueling, getting ready to go back into the fight, drop bombs, whatever they're doing.
Wow.
So we're very, very close, minutes away by the way we fly. So if something does happen, a plane is shot down or loses an engine, there we go.
Wow.
Then somebody steps on a landmine, troops in contact. We call that a tick. And it's like watching Hollywood squares when you deploy. Like, your laptop there in front of you probably would have, 15, 20 little boxes. And each one of those boxes would represent a unit somewhere in your theater. And it would blink and say, tick, 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 troops in contact.
Oh, wow.
And, of course, everybody in rescue would be like, what's going on? Where can we go? When do we launch? Let's go.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds high pressure. It sounds like you got to move quick.
You have to move quick. Seconds count. We call it the golden hour of rescue. So if you can put healing hands onto an injured service member, doesn't matter which service it is, your probabilities of saving that life are exponentially higher. It's what happens after the hour. So if I can get them to a level 1, level 2 trauma, field surgery, they have a good chance of making it.
Wow. So can you share a story of a time that something that really captures the gravity of what you did?
Absolutely. Anytime you have more than one event, there are a lot of little smaller events. So the notion is you're an Air Force rescue crew. What's your mission today? So we did have a mission with troops in contact, and this one stuck out. So it was really dark, nasty, ugly night in southern Afghanistan. And the mission was probably a 3-hour flight for us, which, we have more than enough gas. So out we went. But as we reviewed the route, we knew we were going to be well within enemy fires because it had been reported so many times in the past. And we call that surface-to-air fire, or SAFFIRE. Okay. And sure enough, we approached this ridge, and they started lighting us up. You could see the tracers coming up at us, but it's comforting at night because if they can't see you, it just looks like a big S. Like you see in Hollywood. You see the big S. That means they're guessing. They can hear you. Fortunately, they can't see you because the moon, we always flew in really low moon, which is great for us with goggles. So he starts to spray, or they start to spray, and I'm like, nope, we can't get over that ridge. Very power limited, very high ridge, and they knew it. So they'd kind of pinned us to the south. Well, my survivor was to the north, and what we had was a convoy had gotten ambushed. They took multiple hits. One service member shot in the lower extremities. Our criteria for flying was life, limb, or organ. Used to be life, limb, eyesight. Going to lose one of those things, and he had been shot enough times that some of his extremities were probably going to be compromised. That's our launch criteria. So we back off, go back towards the direction we'd come from, and I called up to the eye in the sky. This particular night, it was an E-2 Hawkeye. If you know what that is, it's a naval airborne radar station, and it launches off a carrier. It's a twin-engine prop. It's got a big disc on top of it. And I called up to him and said, "Hey, I need help." Well, his team can look in the radar scope, and he goes, I know exactly where you're at. What's your problem?" And I said, "Well, this ridge north of us is giving us a fit." And he's like, "Yep, that's done that before. So stand by one. Let me see who I've got on tap." So now what he does is he puts the call out. Who's around? We got gunships, A-10s, F-16s, and our call sign back then was Jolly. He says, "Jolly, I've got an AV-8B British Harrier with a 30 millimeter gun pod. Will that work?" And I said, "Oh, that would work tremendously." Just even a show of force. What's a show of force? You're probably asking. So a show of force is a high fast moving aircraft that comes in very, very low and basically they bounce the location of the enemy. They're coming in way too fast to be shot at. It just lets everybody know on the ground that what you're doing isn't appreciated. Maybe you should stop. So his first pass was a bounce. And he said, give it a try, see what happens. I'm like, oh, great. We're going to go stick our nose in here again. I mean, they weren't hitting us, so it was all right. And we got real close to the ridgeline. Nothing.
Oh, wow.
Ghosted. So we were clear to go ahead and execute the mission, picked this young kid up, got him back, got him into surgery. The bummer part is the crew never gets to hear how they do. They're going to package him up, and they're going to send him back to Germany. He'll give higher level care there, better stabilization, and then from there he goes home to his home unit. We never get to hear how they were doing other than safely transported to Germany. And if they get that far, they're doing pretty good.
Wow, man, that's intense.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It takes a special person to do something like that.
It was a good time. Everything went together. Everything went the way we wanted it to go, just not for the soldier, of course.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so let's transition from Air Force to NASA and SpaceX, okay? At some point, the Air Force chapter ends, and then you find yourself search and rescue for NASA, correct?
That's correct.
Right? So how did that happen?
Well, NASA is full of really, really smart people, and I'm not one of those people. I do have a very useful resume in that my background, as we've talked about, covers a lot of those areas. And I had prepared the family. When it was time for us to retire, I said, guys, there probably won't be a job. We'll probably pack up all the goodies and the kit and caboodle, and we'll aim north, and we'll see where God takes us. And what do you know? A very dear friend of mine, he was a mentor. He was the senior Air Force astronaut. A gentleman by the name of Mike Hopkins, called him Hopper. He goes, Chaz, you can't retire. And I said, well, that ship has sailed. I have to retire. And he goes, well, give that some thought. And I'm like, what's he thinking? What's he doing? It's hard to hire a non-scientist, non-engineer at NASA unless you're a physician.
Right.
Those are the physicians, astronauts, and then scientists and engineers. And what do you know? NASA came up with a job. They literally created a job for me and said we could really use your resume. Please don't leave us. Please hang around. It's going to get really busy. And we started putting rockets into orbit. We'd very much like for your skill sets of rescue, recovery, test, survival, and firefighting. Extrication is a very real thing. And for all those reasons, they're like, if you want a job, it's yours.
Wow. That shows a lot about you. If NASA is going to create a job for you,
they literally created a job, but I was like, "There's no way this is happening," but it absolutely happened. It was thanks very much in part to a lot of folks that had a lot of faith in me.
So, what skills from flying helicopters in combat translated to what you do at NASA?
Operational prowess, the ability to assess three-dimensional operational environment, look at it from any perspective, and provide that advice, mentorship to people that it's just ones and zeros on a piece of paper, and they don't speak the language.
Right.
And when they go down a rabbit hole, for instance, of trying to assess how a mission will play out, you talk them down and say, no, don't be bothered with all of those details. For one thing, there's too many variables. You couldn't even write an algorithm, and believe me, they can write algorithms, but you couldn't write an algorithm for the variables that are involved here. So don't try to estimate how the mission's going to go down, and it's come in very helpful.
Yeah.
You're familiar with the neutral buoyancy lab, the big pool that they do. They take the astronauts. It's 6 million gallons. It's 40 feet deep.
Does it have the space station in it?
It has the space station in it, which is geometrically accurate, so that they can practice doing spacewalks. Well, they brought me some designs for a system that was going to rock a boat to add realism to their training, because they train in that pool. They train on the surface as well. And these guys are all proud, and they hand me a little folder like the one I've handed you, and they're like, all right, take a look. Tell us what you think. And I took a look and read it. In about 30 seconds, I said, are you trying to kill someone? Because this is a ticket to do exactly that. This was literally going to be a system at the bottom of the pool, 40 feet down, with cabling on solenoids that went to the surface that would pull on these 10,000-pound vehicles back and forth. And I had to educate them on things like surface tension.
Sure.
And what happens when there's different buoyancy characteristics. Like, do you scuba?
I have never scubaed.
So we wear a buoyancy compensator, right? A lot of air puts you on the surface. A little bit of air puts you just under the surface, and then you drain it and you go down. So you maintain that buoyancy compensator in accordance with what you're trying to do. So rescue swimmers want to be on the surface. If I'm a 200-pound man and I have my buoyancy compensator, I'm going to bobble about in the water in waves differently than a 10,000-pound piece of steel.
Yeah, sure.
And when the two of us come together, we're not in sync. We're in different frequencies. And they kind of scratch their head and they're like, oh, that's and they're like, who's going to tell Carl? And I'm like, looking around the room, I'm like, who's Carl? And they're like, well, he's the guy that designed this thing. And I said, well, nope. I'll tell Carl if you need to, but this is a bad idea. Call the Waveball Studios in Europe. They designed this big blue ball. And yes, there's a pair of them. So there's a big pair of blue balls in NASA's Neutral Buoyancy Lab. And it basically bounces up and down in the water and creates a wave pattern to train for some realism. And it's so friendly and child safe. The fun version actually has a saddle mounted on top of it.
Oh, wow.
And kids can ride the thing. It's impossible to be hurt by it because it's a sphere.
Right.
So when it creates a wave, it just pushes you away. It's impossible for it to come down on top of you. And now there's two of them in there. Matter of fact, I was just there giving a tour on Monday, and I pointed it out. I said, there's Chaz's little contribution to NASA's big mission in the sky. And they're like, huh? And I had to explain it. And they're like, oh, cool. So there's a lot of different ways, but that one I'm always so proud of. I'm like, see those blue balls? Those are my blue balls.
Well, that's cool to make a contribution that impacts.
That's right.
Yeah. So what was the biggest adjustment going from military operations to the space world?
So my expertise and my worth and credibility at NASA is because of my performance, what I've done in the past, my resume. And the biggest challenge is having to work through a risk and convince management, who are teams of engineers, that what they're trying to do or not do is dangerous and risky. And the biggest challenge amongst that is don't get emotional, because they are absolutely tone deaf to emotion.
Right.
And so you have to break it down into ones and zeros. And I'm constantly trying to explain this. And I invoke my resume all the time. Like, there was an interesting time where there was a group of engineers. We were talking about extrication and helo response times. And there was one particularly cheeky engineer who just had a lot to say about everything. And he was commenting on a fire response team at the pad. We call that pad crash rescue, right? They're the guys that are first to respond to astronauts in a vehicle on the pad. And he had some things to say about it. And I'm like, actually, that's not accurate. He goes, well, who are you? And everybody in the room knew that I was a firefighter. And one of the guys was a friend of mine. He says, well, actually, Chaz is the only one qualified in the room to speak to this.
Oh, wow.
As a certified firefighter in the state of Texas. And he's like, oh, well, pardon me. And then we went on and he started talking about helicopters and the time to respond and terminal area operations. And I said, well, that's not accurate either. He goes, whoa. You clearly you have the background and technical experience to speak about extrication and firefighting. You just told us you're a firefighter, and the same guy's like, yeah, you also flew helicopters as well.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, well, what else don't you do? Or what else do you do? And that broke some levity, and the room was a lot of fun. That was a particularly fun day. So
wow. So I just from being around you, the times that I have, you're a pretty emotional guy.
I do tend to get a bit emotional, and it's really passion.
Yes, it's
that
passion.
Comes out emotionally, because I will get, like, I consider myself fiercely patriotic, and it's gotten me in trouble.
Sure.
I've lost, as I said, when I retired from the Air Force after 28 years, I stopped counting at 136 people. that were in the greater circle of people that I served with. So 136 that I'd lost since 9/11.
Wow.
And they are people that gave their last full measure so a citizen like you could wear that awesome hat.
Absolutely.
And I am fiercely patriotic to a fault.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not changing that.
Sure.
And I'm not apologizing for it. It is who I am. So anyone who stands to threaten, our way of life and this great nation, unfortunately, if they draw swords with me, they're going to get the lion's claws, as it will.
Well, as it should be. I mean, you've sacrificed a lot for our country and for your community. I wouldn't expect anything less. So I'm very patriotic myself. This hat actually was my grandfather's.
It's a great hat. Absolutely love it.
Who was in the 519th Battalion. I don't know if I'm saying it right. The Korean War for the Army. So, I get chills thinking about it.
Yep.
And also, I've even said this on a previous podcast. Is like I kind of feel like maybe I missed my mark. Like military was probably something that I should have done in my youth. But who knows? Where we're at, where we are now, right? So, anyways,
I guess I have only one thing to say: you don't have to wear a uniform to be a patriot.
Sure. Yeah.
Citizen patriots are very, very real. And in fact, that is who defended us before we had a regular by constitution military. So don't sell yourself short.
Okay.
Plenty of ways to contribute. Citizen patriots, you'd be my first pick.
Well, I appreciate that. That's something, I guess that's what I would call myself, as a citizen patriot. And I'll wear that proud. Of course.
Do it. You should.
So some more on this. You went on to become a mission lead at SpaceX, right? What does mission lead actually do?
That's a great question. The fastest and easiest way is like everyone knows what a movie producer is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're an expert in nothing, but everything that needs to happen behind the scenes up to and including from the moment they say action, the producer is responsible for the safety of the crew, the scripts, the makeup, the food, all of it, and the training. I don't do any of it. I just make sure it flows properly. And all the little back scenes to make sure that transportation is right, flights are right, manifests are done properly. I'm the one reaching ahead, making sure that the quarantine facility is ready to go. It's tedious. It can be very thankless and extremely busy. For about 10 months out of the year, I'm away every other week.
Wow. So if I were to compare that to something in my life, that would be a coach.
A coach for some kind of a major sport, major team, the bigs, as it were. Because let's face it, astronauts are the bigs.
Yes.
There's not very many of them. They're all pretty darn awesome. And I love it because we want them back, and that's where I come in. Yeah,
that's a pivotal part. I mean, that's an exciting part of it.
It is.
Securing the what do you, for lack of better terms, I would say package, but I would say like when you secure it's a high profile thing.
So that's typically what the Secret Service do, and they will literally use the word package.
Oh, really?
Or there will be a call sign for, it's Robin, or it's November, or it's Cherokee. And I'm just like, geez, what is Cherokee?
Right. I think one of them was Geronimo, wasn't it?
Yeah, Geronimo. That's right.
So recently you joined the Artemis recovery team.
Yes.
You want to take us through that a little bit?
Absolutely. So launching is exciting because you're getting them ready to go, and they go, and you're also a bit of a landing lead. And I kind of enjoyed the landing aspect of it. So when you're mission lead for a numbered mission with SpaceX, mission lead crew 3, you are then the landing lead for crew 3, and then the mentor for crew 4. And you teach them how to do things. And the landing part's really cool because the astronauts come back in what we call a deconditioned state. Space is kind of ornery. It messes with your neurovestibular, your physiology, and we help them reconstitute. And watching them and seeing them when they first come back, that some of them are just great characters and just really having fun with it. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. With Artemis, it's our military doing the recovery. And I'm always going to leadership like, boss, anything involving operations, if you need an expert, I'm here and I'm ready to go. And finally my boss came to me a couple months back. It was like December. And he's like, what do you think about joining the recovery team? Because you're going out on a Navy ship, and the Navy actually does all the heavy lifting for recovery. And we are advisors. And again, kind of like a producer where the talent has returned, and we want the talent to be recovered safely, transitioned safely, stabilized safely, and returned home, where they go through, weeks of reconditioning because they are deconditioned.
Yeah.
It's very exciting because I'm back with helicopters again, so which I absolutely love, and made a lot of friends with HSC 23 down there in San Diego. That's Helicopter Squadron.
Oh, cool.
So I was able to get integrated back in with and what I didn't know is, services always think different things of each other. Like, those H-60 pilots over in the Army, those are knuckle draggers,
Right.
and you guys in the Marine do this and that. And I didn't realize it, but the Navy, apparently, according to HSC 23, they hold the Air Force rescue mission in very high regard. We fly the same basic aircraft, the H-60, and then the Air Force puts different things on it, armor, guns, weapons, than the Navy does. But I guess the mission is what really attracted them. So I was playing golf the day before we left, and we got the +1. We were three, and we were a threesome, and our +1, no kidding, was a helicopter pilot that was going to go out with us on the USS John P. Murtha, the well deck that opened up in the back, because that's how the vehicle's recovered. I'm like, are you kidding? Are you making that up? Did you just hear us talking about it? We're just waiting for the ship to accept us, so we got Sunday off. Let's go play some golf in San Diego. Yeah. Why not? Turns out he was one of the helicopter guys.
Wow.
So it was really nice being into that brotherhood again, and they just welcomed me into the fold like I was one of them.
Yeah. So, one of my questions that I've got somewhere in here is, and I'll hit it now, is like going from military to the firehouse to, NASA / SpaceX. Is that brotherhood kind of similar?
No, not at all. The fire department and the military are very similar. One, there's a lot of adversity. And it's adversity either enemy made or just natural occurrences, right? Fire, jaws of life, overturned cars, something's burning, something's crushed or smashed. We protect each other as much as we are protecting and trying to, recover the patient. That is the crucible that forms bonds you just can't replicate anywhere else. So military is first and foremost.
Sure.
That, the band of brothers. I mean, HBO was smart to do it, and they're 100% right. It isn't really about what's going on in your capital, what's going on in your state. It's the guys and girls that are left and right of you. That's what you do. You all want to come home, and we all go help each other come home. Wow. So fire department and Air Force really are fairly close. NASA, SpaceX, my first couple of days at NASA, matter of fact, I sat down and it was the first weekend. I'm like, so what's everybody going to do? And they're talking about writing programs and rebuilding computers. And I went, oh boy, I'm in trouble. I need a hobby badly. And I can't fly, I can't fly anymore. So what am I going to do? And what do you know? A minute and 13 seconds away from my house is a volunteer fire department station, District 6.
Oh, wow.
The southeastern flank of Pasadena Volunteer Fire Department. So the rest is history. I've been a firefighter almost 10 years now.
Wow.
I absolutely love it.
Wow. That's, man, I get chills talking about this because what you do is so important.
It's fun to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, right. And my next question was about that exact same thing. I jumped ahead to the next question. It's crazy. One of the things that I wanted to jump into, talking about firefighting, you're recognized as a hometown hero in Portland. Tell me a little bit about that.
So, all the big franchises, most of them really do care about the veterans and really do respect the sacrifice and the service that are customary with service. Portland, if you step aside from all the politics, the people and that particular team recognize a veteran every game. And through hook and crook somehow or another, I was kind of wondering, why is my wife suddenly asking me to tell stories, She never asked me to tell stories. It's like stuff that she doesn't want to know about.
Yeah.
Because it was like maybe I wasn't going to come home. And suddenly there's an interest. That should have been a cue for me that something was amiss, because they had reached out and said, hey, we know he's from here. Start sending us pictures. Do some digging. Give us his resume. And before I know it, it's halftime or whatever. And I've got, the Sasquatch equivalent there, because it's not what exactly is a trailblazer?
Yeah,
it's
right.
Portland Trailblazers, and it's a Sasquatch. It's a Bigfoot
Really?
in black and red, checkered like a lumberjack. And they present you with a bunch of nice swag, and
That's
highlight. They show your pictures up there, play a bunch of cool music, and you feel like the man of the hour. It was
Wow.
it was a true honor. That's not the icing on the cake. That's the little doodad on top of the icing on the top of the cake, and that is far from the reason. Highly appreciated, somewhat humbling that you get that kind of recognition. But as we talked earlier with the troop in contact, there is obviously, I am wired that when somebody near me, or I am aware that someone is in trouble, hurting, drowning, on fire, whatever, the hackles stand up, and I have to move, and I am motivated by that service. Yeah. And I know there's divine intervention in that regard. I just celebrated my 6th birthday on Sunday.
Your 6th?
Did you know that?
Your 6th birthday?
Did you know I have 2 birthdays, Brooks?
No.
Yeah, so there I was. It's one of my great stories. There I was, and started experiencing some symptoms that were somewhat concerning.
Oh.
A lightning bolt shot down from my left shoulder to my left wrist, and I know enough about medicine that I was probably having a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
So long story short, getting a wake-up call, one that I truly believe I didn't need, because I truly appreciate wake up every day. I'm on this side of the dirt. Thank you. But to have a surgeon look at you while you're in a lot of pain, if you're thinking of putting a heart attack on a bucket list, I would encourage you to avoid it, erase it. The surgeon looks down at me and says, sir, I know you're in a lot of pain. I need you to calm down for just a minute. You are having a massive heart attack, and I need to get you into surgery right now. Wow. And I went, what? So when you're saying goodbye to your next of kin, who was my wife, Sandy, I was like, I'm never, and she's crying, I'm crying. I'm like, dear Lord, is this really it? Well, 99% lethal are the widowmaker heart attacks. I survived this thing, and I'm like, all right, Lord, clearly I'm still here for a reason, for a purpose, but I was already doing firefighting. I was already doing rescue and recovery. It probably altered my path a little bit. I mean, you and I are sitting here, and what has happened to us and what we've done along our lives is why we are sitting right here today. Right. For whatever reason along the way, for whatever reason, I pursue adversity and see service as my purpose in life. And that's why I'm sitting right next to you, and we're talking about all this really fun stuff.
Wow. I did not know that. I didn't know that happened to you.
So I am 57 and 6.
Well, thank the Lord that you are here today.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. On more than one occasion.
Wow, that kind of shocked me to hear that. I don't know what to think.
Yeah, Sunday was my 6th birthday.
Wow, so 6 years ago. Huh?
6 years ago Sunday, and it was a Sunday morning. We were watching Frozen 2 with my young daughter Bella. Wow, and within minutes, it felt like someone was putting their knee on my chest. And then the lightning bolt came, and I knew it. I was in trouble.
Wow. Okay. Jeez. Well.
Bet you didn't see that curveball, Coach.
No, I didn't actually. Right. The next segment that we're going into is fear, family, and identity. Okay. So then here we are talking about family and stuff. You've been in careers where the stakes are high, life or death, mission's critical. How do you personally manage fear when you're heading into a dangerous situation or high-pressured situation?
So I think anytime you're exposed to something enough, you begin to manage or assuage some of that fear. I think more so for me, other than exposure, the first time you went into a burning structure, like, is this really happening? Like, I hope I find my way out. I hope all my gear works. I hope don't even think about that anymore. So exposure is probably my first line of defense, but truly the overarching mitigator for me is the passion of the mission, of the objective. There's a person in there. So I've pulled big, beautiful golden retriever out of a house one time, and if she could talk, I think she would have said, I'd like to leave this house now.
Yeah, for sure.
People were all out, so we were literally looking for the animals. And I think it's that purpose, that drive, like I cannot rest until everyone is safe. Everyone is out. So I'm really not even paying attention to it anymore.
So purpose supersedes fear.
100%. Purpose and then exposure. So along the path of purpose, which has been to save and recover, exposure has been a great benefit. And we're all a little nervous the first time we do a thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I hope I don't mess this up. I hope I don't make a fool of myself, where I was like, I hope I don't crash.
Yeah.
And there's been a few of those too. You can sit around, guys can sit around the fire circle, as I always say, with a nice bourbon or a cigar and just smoke and joke. The stories always get better at the fire circle too. Don't they?
Yeah. For sure. So I would say the stakes are a little higher with what you're doing. It's not like if I don't strike this guy out, or I don't, make this sale, bummer. But for you, it's, I don't save this life. The stakes are higher.
Stakes are higher, but you're the patriarch of your family. Your failure manifests upon your family. And I would offer that feeling like you've failed your family, your direct family, your next of kin, is every bit as a part of scary as all this other stuff is. It's just more tangible.
Yeah.
Like the end state would be we lose the house. Like you could become addicted to whatever.
Right.
You could find a chemical dependency or gambling and lose the house and lose everything. Credit all gone, and you're homeless on the street.
Right. Yeah.
And you've stayed on the path of righteousness. So it might not be an ouch to you. You might not be burnt or shot or whatever, but it's still very real to look at a family that's suffering because the patriarch failed them. So again, patriot citizen, don't sell yourself short.
I guess it's perspective, right?
That's right.
All right. So how has life of service impacted your family? Schedule, risk, emotional load. What kinds of conversations do you have at home?
You hit on a very good one. So the scars we can't see are the hardest to heal and the most enduring. And without a doubt, I came back with those kinds of scars. You work through those scars in many different ways. That damage, the non-tissue damage. Faith is a great mitigator for it. But there's highs and lows, right? And I have mostly struggled with those. That has impacted my family, and they've shared that with me. They've been honest and courageous enough to come forth, and I in turn, of course, will say, well, you do realize you're my best Band-Aid for those wounds. It's my family insulating and supporting me, and I would offer that out there to anyone. You bring Brooks, I can't believe you mentioned this. So very recently, I lost a very close rescue brother to suicide. And we all take the hit in that I didn't do more, and why was I not able to help, and how come I wasn't right there with him? And we're each our own person, but it's the reverse of have the courage. And promise me, like you, Brooks Branger, right now, you promise me if you ever enter that dark chapter, you will pick that phone up and you will say it right now. I swear or affirm, Chaz, if I ever go there, I will pick that phone up and call you.
Chaz, if I ever go there, I will definitely pick up that phone.
And I will answer that phone call. And it's the ones that are silent that we don't know about.
Yeah.
So those wounds are the hardest. Physically, I'm a bit of a mess. Surgeries, back injections, nerve damage. There's plenty of that to go around, but I can push through that. It's the emotional ones that I still struggle with today. So you occupy yourself with purpose. Firefighting is a great way to do it.
Yeah.
NASA recovery, always thinking about the crew, always thinking about the people that have to go out and recover those capsules out on the Pacific, which is very cold, by the way. It's not the Gulf of Mexico where we used to land, and that really helps. So it's a package deal, and it's not just one thing that's going to solve or ease the pain and suffering. So yes, to your question directly, big impact on the family. I'm very mindful of it, and I embrace my responsibility to continuously heal and be aware that there is an impact on my family.
So, to the point of talking about mental health, it's important. And I've recently experienced this stuff. Not that I was in that dark place, but I was in a mentally strangled state. As we all go through, it happens. You never get. Life is a roller coaster, right? You have highs and lows.
Correct.
You just got to try to ride it in the middle, right? Well, I think your circle is a huge part of healing in those lows. And I recently had a friend who knows me, but I was, he could just tell, right? I never said anything negative. I'm always happy-go-lucky.
You're throwing a flag.
Yeah,
and he
somehow
caught it.
He caught it, and he called me out on it. And I'll tell you this, I'm not afraid of it, but as soon as he said the words, I broke down. Like it was just like, wow, how did this guy know that I'm hurting inside? And he caught that red flag, and then it just, for him to just tell me, hey man, I got you and I love you. That I broke down, because it's so important. I'm a happy-go-lucky guy.
You are indeed.
So I spend most of my time up here, but I also suppress a lot of the stuff down here, and a lot of people do that. You also talked about the silent people, but also the happy people are the ones as well that you have to look out for.
That's correct.
Right? Yep. But that is when I realized that your circle is probably the most important thing moving through life, because of all those ups and downs, just to keep you in check.
And that circle that did exactly what that friend of yours did. What a blessing to have a person like that in your life. That is how I look upon my circle as well. So I'm throwing out all kinds of flags once in a while, saying, hey, you've been calm out. What's going on? So here's the thing, and got him to unpack, the recent unpleasantries in the Middle East. Well, I had a friend that got trapped at the Dubai airport.
Oh, wow.
On a layover to India. Should have only been there 2 or 3 hours. The first missile hit. They shut the airport down, moved him to hotels. The hotels started getting hit, and he was in the prettiest hotel in Dubai, Burj Al Arab, the big white. I said, you need to get out of that hotel. You need to know where the consulate is. And crazy thing, he goes, you're not going to believe this. You're the only one from Seabrook that reached out to me.
Wow.
And having worked with the embassies a lot, having worked rescue and recovery, I'm like, you got to do a pre-plan of whatever hotel you end up in. I couldn't believe I was the only one.
Wow.
And he said, I'm gonna share a secret with you. Having your voice through text was very comforting, because I really felt like I was alone and you were guiding me. Go walk your hotel. The way you came in might not be the way you go out.
Right.
Know where all the staircases are. Know what you have to do from everywhere you are. How do you get out? Know where the consulate is. Know where the hospitals are, police departments. Save it all on your phone right now, because once it starts happening, your phone's a paperweight.
Yeah, that's right.
So it was very rewarding. So God bless your friend. And what's his name?
JD, Jonathan Davis.
Jonathan Davis. Well, God bless that man for recognizing that. What a blessing he is to have in your family, in your circle.
Absolutely.
And I'd encourage anyone out there listening, to make sure that you're calling friends, and you're not just, hey, what's up? And you just keep right on blathering on about whatever stupid stuff you're doing that day. Take a time to really look at them and know them and go, something's not right. Something's wrong.
I would echo that and add, call people and be genuine about why you're calling them.
Yes.
Lou Holtz.
Yes.
God rest his soul. Just passed away. Is one of my all-time favorite speakers, coaches, people. He would, I'm going to mess this up, but it's like, show people you care is one of his 3 rules, right? And he's like, I'm not just talking, hey, how you doing? It's asking deeper questions. That is important. That's something that, I took recently from his passing, is like, oh, wow. It just kind of put off a light bulb. Like, I need to do that. I need to reach out to people that have been good friends that may, life takes you away sometimes. But it's important.
Yeah.
Very important.
And when you stop and think about it, it begins to force you to reassess. Like, oh yeah, I hung out with a bunch of friends. Are they really friends?
Yeah.
Are they just social acquaintances?
Right.
People that by proximity, or they were on a team, or they're coworkers, or the friends are the ones, and we all say this, the friends are the ones that know. And if they don't know, they find out. And
That's
they find out because they just check in on you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And we can all do that more often. As much as I'm aware of that fact, we can all do that more often. Hey, Brooks, it was your turn today.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on, man?
Yeah.
How's the family? How are you really doing?
Yes. Yes.
And pause long enough to be genuinely concerned. I'm here, brother. I love you. How's it going?
Yeah. That's impactful in people's lives.
It really, really is. Making a difference.
We've spoke a lot about meaning, purpose. So let's talk a little bit about, we also gave a little bit of advice, right? So you zoom out, look at your path from combat, search and rescue to space flight support.
Right.
All right. How do you define success now?
Going into the new year, I'm a big New Year's resolution guy. 2 words: be better.
Yeah.
So I have recently defined my life as successful in the areas where I have become better. And that's a man of God. I'm in scripture just about every day. A better dad, a better brother, a better father, a better patriot, better citizen, better firefighter. So, and I'm doing things like that all throughout the week to force myself. And then what do you know? Like we had a fire. We had a pretty nasty structure fire. Bless his heart. It was a veteran. He of course survived, but he lost pretty much everything. We got the precious things out.
Sure.
As a momentary offshoot, fires don't just ruin things; they ruin memories. And so, the scene command comes to me and he says, "Hey, Chaz, did you see the flags?" I said, "Yeah, I've already." So we're pulling flag cases out. He goes, "Well, he's got like 15 guitars." And I went, "Guitars? 15?
Wow.
And cases." I said, "Are the guitars in the cases?" He goes, "No." So that's 30 things. And it's stuff, right?
Right.
Everything that we can see in this room here in your studio, it's stuff.
Right.
But when you come into this home, you're surrounded by comfort. It's what you know. And it could be, it's not a disheveled mess. It's actually decorated quite nicely. But we come into many homes. And as Tolkien said about The Hobbit, it was a hole, but not a hole like you would think about. It brought comfort to the person living there.
Right.
And all that comfort is gone. So protecting the structure, yes. The lives, yes, of course. But the comfort and the memories that all came with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So success for me, be better at whatever it is I'm doing and be able to tell, be able to gauge and measure better.
Yeah. Good. That's good for everybody.
Yeah. It's easy. And I can remember it because my memory isn't what it used to be. Be better.
Be better. That's right. Is there a moment you're most proud of that most people will never hear about?
Caught me off guard with that one, didn't you? Let's see. A moment that I'm most proud. So life saving in general, I think is the big game. That's the big apple, the Kentucky Derby of life, if you will. And there's many stories of those, but that's just not ringing the way I would like it to ring for you. So just let me think on that for a brief moment.
Sure.
Most proud.
Yep.
So it's easy, other than being a dad, of course, the birth of my children.
Sure.
Probably my proudest moment in life. But then you get into the tactical operational stuff, and there's we did some pretty amazing things and recovered people, recovered ourselves.
Oh, wow.
Probably as a pilot, thought I had bought the farm, got into some really bad weather in deep mountains in Eastern Europe, and thought that was it. Probably overperformed the aircraft beyond what it was supposed to, but it was that or the alternative of never coming home.
Yeah.
And I I don't even think I had time for a prayer because I had to act so fast. But I whipped that aircraft around and did things to it you should never do to that type of aircraft. And we pulled it out, came home safe. And I was like, I can't believe that just happened. I can't believe that actually worked. Because I was like, I'm going to tear these rotors off the aircraft. And I failed the crew. And it's easy to say what my worst fears was when I believed I had let the crew down. And I have very, very distinct stories of this is the end. And I've let my crew down. It's not me. If I was in my aircraft by myself, well, dummy.
Right.
You bought the farm and you kind of deserved it because you were a dummy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're responsible for your crew.
So not really a stark, but probably that particular one maneuver, I was pretty proud of myself because we probably shouldn't, you and I shouldn't be here talking.
Wow.
And that's not because of the heart attack. That was way before the heart attack.
Quick action.
Yeah.
Is what saved you, huh? Okay, so all of your job titles, what did all of this teach you about you apart from those?
It taught me, it really helps me reflect on what drives me in life. Now, you know, we have a lot of little sub chapters, as you've highlighted. There's a lot of little stories and there's a lot of little titles.
Sure.
But I believe that what it's taught me is I am most at home and at peace with the world when I'm serving, when I'm recovering, when I'm saving. And that purpose, I think, was built into my DNA before I was ever here, because it is the most fulfilled that I have found myself to be. And you know, you put your hands on a patient who you know if you don't act, they're not going home.
Yeah.
And I've been able to do that, and I can still feel this patient human contact. Like I reach out to you right now and I grab you on the forearm. That human touch is the beginning of the physical healing. Like my voice, like I told you about the guy I called that helped bring the Harrier to come to us. That started the healing process. It's starting to get a little unraveled. Dark, nasty night. Well, my voice calling in the dark to you when you're in a vehicle that's crushed and you're in pain.
Yeah.
And you don't know what's broken, bloody, or hurt. All you know is you're in pain. My voice starts your healing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Pain is very damaging. And if I can interrupt your pain, emotional, physical, psychological, you have a great chance of making it. When I touch that patient,
it's just more.
I could feel that I might be going home.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Wow. That's only something that you get from being in that moment.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't know that.
Nope.
But you have felt it.
So very real.
Yeah.
That I don't have a lot of instances like that, but there have been moments of physical contact. You can sense the body is with the exhale. There's a relaxing and there's a bit of euphoria that's come over. Like in that moment, whatever was hurting the most, whatever burning, bleeding was happening, they let go of just a little bit of it and you connected, and it's so powerful.
Wow.
I wish we could bottle it up.
Yeah.
And give it to everybody.
Man, it makes me think differently about human contact.
Yep.
Or just connection, you know?
I'm not a touchy-feely guy, but I'm also not afraid to, you know, I'm never shy away from, and I come from a family of huggers. We're big people, so we're going to hug you. And you're going to disappear in there for just come here, let Tash get his hands around you. Let me get you a big hug. That has what I've done on the scene too. You got to be careful because like if the arm is dislocated and there's a compound fracture, you don't want to, hey buddy, shoot, sorry about that forearm.
Right.
Why do you have two elbows? You're not supposed to have an elbow in the middle of your bicep, but apparently that's what happened when you crashed.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. For someone who's listening, who's considering the military, aviation, firefighting, or any high risk, high responsibility career, what honest advice would you give them?
If it's ego that's driving you, go find something else to do. Your lack of sincerity will be your undoing, will make you a far less effective savior. I mean, I've been referred to by people as having a savior's heart. If you are passionate about something, when you think about it all the time, when you reflect on it, hey, let's face it, when we're young, We got a lot of testosterone, a lot of hormones. You know, we're alphas, we're
Sure.
titans. We want to go out and change things around.
Mm-hmm.
I had that, but anytime I got near the human element of the suffering, so be passionate about it and talk to people that do it. Don't let Hollywood convince you that it's a good or a bad thing. Go talk to people, and if you want to reach out and talk to Brooks and get in touch with me, you want to talk about aviation or firefighting, you're in the local area or abroad, I'll be happy to talk to you. But talk to the people that do it. Talk to the experts. Really get a feel for like, oh, I don't like that. Like a good friend of mine, real good guy, had no idea he was afraid of heights.
Yeah.
And on Ladders Day, he quit the academy.
Oh, wow.
And they were able to talk him down, as it were, and he finished the academy, but he had no idea he was afraid of heights. He's like terrified, got up on the ladder and couldn't move.
Yeah. I've been there.
Yeah.
With what I do.
Yeah, with what you do, you know, heights are a thing.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of heights. Then what I do is not for you.
Yeah. Well, it's something that I had to overcome, so it is doable.
And be a lifetime learner. You want to be a firefighter? Learn your whole life. Like, I love, how do I do that? How did they do that? How did they extricate that door? How did they,
Yeah. Well, there's something they say is life is always about learning. Doesn't
100%.
matter. You don't stop when you graduate high school or college.
Be a life learner.
That's
always learning.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
It's the best way to better yourself, number one. All right, we're almost through. Rapid fire segment. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Most memorable place you've ever flew in the Air Force?
Keflavik, Iceland.
Ooh, that's a nice one. Coffee before a mission, non-negotiable or optional?
Optional on the way to the flight line. As you're scrambling, it's like, did I get coffee in the cup before I actually left? I've got 10 minutes to get the bird in the air. No.
All right. One misconception about people in search and rescue or firefighting that drives you a little crazy?
Police say that firefighters are just people that failed the police academy and went to the fire academy.
That's a big one. If you could go back and give 18-year-old Chaz one sentence of advice, what would you say?
Be patient.
Be patient.
Be patient.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That wraps up our rapid fire.
That's awesome.
Was it intense?
It was intense. Absolutely loved it.
All right. For someone listening who may never put on a flight suit, a bunker gear, what's one lesson from your life that you hope they remember from this conversation?
Pursue your passion. And if you are blessed enough to find something that can give you a quality of life that you'd like, and it's that thing that you're passionate about, you've hit pay dirt. That's a grand slam. That's the Kentucky Derby. That's the Big Apple. That's all the great things rolled into one. If you're chasing money, find a way to convince yourself to chase something else. That's a hole in your heart you'll never fill. Have purpose. And purpose isn't to make more money. Have a purpose. And service is a great place to look, great place to start.
Chaz, I have to remind you, before our interview, we sat here and chatted, and we talked about people who say inspirational things, this, that, and the other, and you said, that's not me. Well, I beg to differ. In this conversation, you have said a lot of inspirational things. I'm proud to sit next to you and
Likewise.
have these conversations. I've learned a lot from just chatting about your past. And not only about what you do, but about lessons and ways to look at life. That's very important, and I've taken from that. And I'll go back and rewatch and edit it and this, that, and the other just to make sure everything's good. And I'm sure I'll catch more things. But man, I'm so thankful that I got to sit down with you today.
Thanks for having me on this. I love what you do. Please continue to do it. Yeah. Because you can reach out and inspire and motivate people and reach people and like get them thinking about things by the guests that you have as well as yourself. You sold yourself short twice during the show today. And I'm going to hold you accountable in that regard because I saw what you did for Gabe and for our team during that. And he's had a lot of coaches and I had a lot of coaches. And you were his favorite, and you were my favorite. Well, thank you. That's not something easy to say. So don't hold yourself short, Brooks. You've got, or coach. I love calling you coach. I know I start off every text that way.
Yeah.
So I really did appreciate the opportunity. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep swinging, as it were.
Yeah.
And keep making it happen.
Well, thanks, man. Anything else that you wanna talk about? You wanna throw out there? What you got going on? Anything like that? Where they can find you if you're on social media? If you do that kind of thing?
I do social media. The political side got really thick, and I stepped away from social media. But you were able to find all kinds of stuff on me. So, folks can always, Google Chaz Tacheny, and they'll find a lot of stuff out there. And, most of my comments and things are about faith. They're about saving lives. I don't deal well with people that live in an echo chamber. I think you know what I mean by saying that. When I say I've seen the world, I truly mean that. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And there's a lot of both. And media tends to want to focus on the ugly.
Yeah, for sure.
And we mustn't forget that there's good, honest, decent people out there that would give you literally the shirt off their back and their lives.
Yes.
They're called first responders. We don't plan to get up every day in the service of the Air Force and the nation, or fire department or police department, say, hey, today I'm going to give my life.
Yeah.
But if that's what's called, they're willing to do that. We can't ever forget those folks. So hats off to all of our first responders.
Absolutely.
Out there doing the hard things.
So I think it's worth noting that you're also on the circuit.
On the circuit.
Yeah. So you had mentioned some things that you're going to be doing. That's kind of exciting. So do you want to dive into that?
Sure. So I've been doing some announcing, just low grade stuff, high school announcing, and had people approach me like, I got to tell you, you have a way with words and how you project, and there's energy there. I can even see some charisma. Are you interested in coming on a radio talk show? It's a local CMCA radio, Charles, the voice McCullough.
Nice.
As I said, he looks like an Albert Einstein. Not two hairs go in the same direction, from his fuzzy mustache to his wig on top. But the moment he speaks, you're like, now I see. Oh. And he's got this velvety, smooth voice. It's like dark chocolate rolled with bourbon wrapped in aromatic leather. It's just amazing how this guy talks. So he's going to have me on the show sometime in the near future, and you can tune in and find him. He's got a lot of talk shows as well, but it's fun to hear him do sports casting because he has all the old vernacular.
I love it.
All the old vernacular. It remind you like you're listening to a 1950s or 1960s baseball, announcement.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, cool. Well, if this episode of the Gray Area Podcast spoke to you, share it with someone who's in between that space of making a big life decision, or someone in uniform who might need to hear that they're not alone. That's big. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Gray Area Podcast. We're on all your listening platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all that good stuff. We're on social media with X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And then reach out if you have questions for Chaz, questions for us. I'd love to connect that and make things happen. So, Chaz, thank you for being here today.
Thanks, Brooks. I really appreciate the opportunity, buddy. God bless.
Hey, thank you. All right. Make sure you stay tuned and love each other. We'll catch you on the flip side.